So, obviously, as everyone knows, a few days ago, Charlie Kirk was murdered in public for his beliefs and thoughts and for trying to garner public discussion over political and theological issues instead of just ranting at people online, drawing up straw men and fighting against those instead of interacting with real people and having, measured discussion that way. He was murdered for doing all that. And I have some additional thoughts I want to share. Uh, for the most part, a lot of the things that I realized off the bat have been covered elsewhere and by smarter people, bigger figures. So I've got like a couple thoughts that I think I haven't seen covered so far. So that's what this channel is for, is thinking the thoughts that some other people don't and then putting them out there. But if you want to see, content on that other stuff, I would recommend a Cross Politics episode with Lennox Calafungwa and Pastor Douglas Wilson, because it's a really educated, mature, and level-headed Christian approach to all the different issues that everyone else is already discussing, such as the fact that this is going to change the future of political discourse. These sorts of public, back and forth events are going to be much rarer now, and the fact that this is absolutely devastating to his family because it happened in front of them. All these different things have already been covered, and I've had some discussions with people on them already. There are two main things, though, that I don't see many people talking about that I think makes this murder in particular a really devastating and heinous one, or at least the first point does. And that's the fact that not only was he murdered in front of his wife and children, but people don't seem to realize that this is even worse than that. Even worse than having him murdered in front of them is the fact that if they choose to, or if they aren't protected from it, they could be reliving that moment of their life for the rest of their life from various camera angles, various distances, because it was so high profile. It was literally being live streamed as it happened, and people were recording it, and that availability to watch your husband murdered for hours every day for the rest of your life, or your father, that is something that I haven't seen anybody talking about yet. And I think this is a very new thing, because with lower profile things, maybe there's with lower profile murders, maybe there's a grainy security camera bit of footage or something that captures the event that the family of the loved one will have to live with the knowledge that that's out there for the rest of their life. But this has exploded. It's all over the internet. There were thousands of people there. A good deal of people were recording. A good deal of people are now witnesses of it, and the entire world knows about it. The entire world has been posting and reposting the clip of him being shot and blood spraying out of the side of his neck. And his kids, if they're not like thoroughly protected from just stumbling across that cliff, there will be even more severe psychological damage than had this just been a murder that was unrecorded. Anyway, so that's not a happy thought. And then second, something else that stood out to me is he's clearly so well beloved by everyone. And remember, this is not me talking about just normal stuff that anybody could talk about. Oh yeah, he was clearly beloved by everyone. What I mean is, he was well beloved by a lot of people, and then after he dies, there are all these posts celebrating him and talking about how much they loved him. And so I just realized this would be a great time to reflect yourself and start creating that sort of post or something, talking to someone in that sort of way before they're dead. Do you think Charlie Kirk wouldn't have wanted to have seen that people were going to, people would like to make those sorts of videos on him? Yeah, do you think he wouldn't have appreciated seeing that sort of admiration and love and respect for him before he died? And now people are saying, I loved Charlie Kirk. He and I were great friends after he died. And obviously now they have a reason and occasion to start talking about that. But I think he probably would have preferred if he didn't have to die for people to admit how much he meant to them. So if this can, unlike hopefully a lot of the other content being produced on Charlie Kirk's murder right now, if this can be of relevance to you, do something with that sort of sense of loss right now. As Jim Wilson would recommend, you can write your father a respect letter and your mom a love letter. He says that's something that young adults should do, just so there's that clarification, that admission of love and respect, so your parents know that even if you haven't, so that if you haven't said it before, at least in such detail, you can give them, hey, this is our relationship. This is how, what kind of standing you and I are in. I really appreciate this and this and this. And I realize I haven't ever said any of those things to you because I've just kind of grown up taking them for granted. Or they happened before I was, old enough to appreciate them. And I didn't just have a realization when I was 14 that, hey, my dad actually did this and this career-wise when he was courting my mom, and that's actually really impressive. I think I'll go tell it to him as a 14-year-old. Anyway, all that sort of thing. Jim Wilson says, write your father a respect letter and your mom a love letter. And I would recommend doing some sort of thing like that for your friends as well. At least letting them know, hey, you mean quite a lot to me, for at least one reason, if not gushing quite so thoroughly. I decided to take up Jim Wilson on his advice when I was in BMT. I didn't have anything better to do, and so the conviction of his advice got to me, and that was one of the letters that I wrote to my family, was me taking Jim Wilson up on his advice. And I'm very glad I did it. because quite a lot of the things I wrote in the letter I hadn't ever said before, and if I had said before, I hadn't said it with the gravity or the emphasis that putting it all down in one place kind of gives the letter. You've got this documented documented statement of this is our relationship. Anyway, so yeah, I've been seeing everyone posting on Charlie Kirk and been thinking, if only he could have seen this. If only he could have known that, yeah, his death really would mean this much. That way he could have been all the more confident in the knowledge that what he was doing was worth it. Anyway, so if you can glean something from that, I myself am considering just starting like an anti-rage baiting episode of like Facebook posts. Call it like joy baiting or love baiting or something, where I just make a post like that for people close to me, and just kind of go through a list of people like my siblings, close friends and stuff that I think really deserve to have a post like that made for them, a sort of pre-mortis obituary, because it'd be such a shame if the only time you said the way you really felt about a person, you said how much you appreciate them, was after they were no longer able to hear it. That would be a real shame. So, in the spirit of Charlie Kirk, and because of his death, capitalize on this moment to reflect and show some appreciation for people you love.